Dramatic lighting, dramatic setup, dramatic Pikachu, dramatic news from Pokemon Go. Remote raiding as we have known it will change forever on April 6th. This kind of happened without warning. Pokemon Go just announced this today. I mean, there was a little bit of warning, like, scattered throughout the Pokemon Go community and talk. You know, I'm sure that we've all kind of heard at one point or another the remote raid passes are going to get nerfed. The remote raid passes aren't going to be as good as they used to be. You know, there was some leaks of that were put out over the past few months from Pokeminers, etc. But with that said, there was not a peep from Niantic or Pokemon Go regarding this. They kind of just announced this in the news today and kind of just bang, like, here you go players, updates to Pokemon Go's remote raids here in the news. Trainers, we want to give you a heads up about changes coming to Pokemon Go's remote raid passes. These changes are designed to rebalance the game and ensure it's enjoyed by trainers for years to come. The changes will go into effect April 6th, 2023 at 11 a.m. So learn more on the blog, so I'll click that. I'm going to talk about the most noteworthy things first. Price adjustments. The price of the Remote Raid Pass 3-pack will increase to 525 coins. The price of single Remote Raid Passes will increase to 195 coins. A Premium Battle Pass 3-pack will be added to the shop for the price of 250 Pokecoins. Essentially, they've increased the Remote Raid Pass 3-pack bundle from 300 coins to 525 coins. They've increased it by 225 coins for the 3-pack Remote Raid Pass bundle. They've increased the Remote Raid Pass, the single, from 100 coins to 195 coins, so almost an extra 100 coins just to get one more Remote Raid Pass. Then with the 525 for 3-pack, you're not really saving much there. You're literally only saving 60 coins. Saving 60 coins with this 3-pass bundle with the adjustments that they've made with the prices here. We all knew that this change might be coming, but for this change to be this drastic, I mean, it is a bit much. It really is a bit much. I mean, I'm still reminiscing on the days when a 3-pack of remote raid passes was only 250 coins. I'm literally still reminiscing on that. I am. For this to be the change that happens, meanwhile, we're still waiting for what exactly they're going to do to make up the Elite Raid Day, because they also put up something in the news a while back being like, we're sorry trainers about Elite Raid Day, we're going to do something to make it up for you. We still don't know what that something is. Meanwhile, this is what they've put out for us trainers here to see today for a change that's happening on April 6th, less than a week from now. So it's not really a whole lot of time to really mentally prepare. It's kind of just like, boom, there you go. And you know, some people are casual players, obviously. You know, not everyone plays Pokemon Go every day. You know, I do, but not everyone does. So some people are going to log into Pokemon Go, they don't really talk to people about Pokemon Go, and they're just gonna go in there one day and be like, oh my god, what? The remote raid pass is like 525 Pokecoins for 3 remote raid passes? I'm gonna read over the rest and then I'm gonna talk about my opinion and some other people's opinions that I've seen on Twitter. So the rest of the news here says remote raid participation limits. Trainers will be able to participate in a maximum of 5 remote raids per day. So they're limiting how many remote raids you can do. 5 per day starting April 6th. The maximum may change and increase for special events. So I guess during Hoenn tours and that kind of thing, they might up the amount of remote raids that you can participate in. And they say may change, not will. The maximum may change. So I don't know what that means. Remote raid passes. Remote raid passes will be included in the pool of potential rewards for research breakthroughs. So that's probably the only bit of good news there, besides, you know, the premium pass going down by 50 coins for a 3-pass bundle. I mean, in my opinion, I think that's something they should have done a long time ago, since they want to promote in-person raiding so much over remote raiding with everything they've been doing and everything they've been talking about as a company. I think that they probably should have made that change to to the premium passes a long time ago, because that would have promoted people and incentivized players to actually raid in person more than they would remote. Remote raid passes earned via research breakthroughs will still be subject to the existing inventory limit of 3 remote raid passes per trainer. If a trainer earns a remote raid pass from a research breakthrough while at the 3 remote raid pass limit, they will receive a premium battle pass instead. So essentially what they're saying there is, in the reward breakthrough boxes that we get every week, it's a possibility we can get a remote raid pass from this research breakthrough box. But if you have 3 remote raid passes in your item bag already, then you're not going to get a remote raid pass from your research breakthrough. You would instead get a premium raid pass. So this is a very interesting change that Niantic is doing here. I'm really not sure what their goal is at the end of this. Maybe to just kind of kill remote raiding. Sorry to be so brutal, but I mean, in my opinion, this sucks. So Candy XL, trainers who participate in 5-star raids in person will earn more Candy XL than before. It doesn't really say how much, but it's like, okay. Since their introduction in 2020, remote raid passes have come to dominate the experience of playing Pokemon Go in a way we never intended. Rewarding trainers with additional Candy XL and adding other new features are 2 of the ways we hope to further incentivize playing Pokemon Go in person with your friends, family, and community. We plan to keep remote raid passes as part of Pokemon Go. However, we believe this change is necessary for the long-term health of the game, and we do not make it lightly. We feel this is a necessary step toward our goal of preserving and improving the unique experience of playing Pokemon Go, a game we hope you continue to enjoy long into the future. Pokemon Go team. Click this other new features thing and see what this is. Other new features: elite raids, campfire, community ambassador program. I don't even understand, to be quite honest with you. What do I think of this? I think this is a very bad idea. I think, of course, this is going to affect how a lot of people play the game, myself included, the people that I play with, the group of friends that I like to play with remotely, in person. For instance, last night I was raiding Lugia in person with one of my friends, a Windows XP on Pokemon Go, Ethan. Meanwhile, we had 10, 8, 9 people in like the 4 or 5 raids that we did in a row. However, with all of those raids that we had 9, 10 people in, only myself and Ethan were the only people there in person. Otherwise, every single person in that lobby were people that we invited remotely and had joined remotely. Ethan and I would have maybe been able to do 1 raid last night, opposed to the 5, 6 that we ended up doing because so many of our friends ended up remotely joining. And genuinely, that is something that really makes me so happy as a Pokemon Go player. When you invite everybody to a raid and everyone shows up and it's like a raid party and it's like, yeah, all my friends have joined and we're all here and it's like, oh, the whole gang is here. Like, genuinely, it really made me happy last night to have all my friends join remotely. My friend Mike, Raspberry Wiener from South Korea, my friend JS the Shadow Hunter from Toronto, like all of them were there joining. And I loved that. It's literally one of my favorite aspects of Pokemon Go, and it really makes me sad and honestly kind of breaks my heart a little bit that that's no longer going to be a thing. I'm going to miss that so much. I really honestly do not want this change to take effect because it's going to affect a lot of players, you know? Pokemon Go has made this announcement at 2:00 p.m. my time. Let's just say, since this announcement has been put out, that the Pokemon Go community has a lot to say about it. A lot, you know? Like, Twitter's blown up. Hashtag HearUsNiantic is trending once again. I've seen some great memes from my great friend Raspberry Wiener, Raspberry Meme, Mike, on Twitter and on YouTube. He made some great memes about it. Cowboy Hat Caterpie, if you don't know who he is, he's a wonderful person in the Pokemon Go community who basically wants Cowboy Hat Caterpie in the game and will ask this at any opportunity that he gets. And he made some great memes about it as well. Q Shiny's another one of my friends on Twitter. They made a fantastic lot of memes about it as well. My friend Q Shinies on Twitter made some really hilarious memes about the situation, as well as that they have made this post called "It's Time to Strike," and it's making its rounds. And you know what? I don't think it's really that bad of an idea. I think it's a good idea, actually. They say it's about time we as the community showed Niantic that there are limits to our willingness to accept changes that are clearly for the worse. We're all aware of the predatory monetization schemes in the game shop with overpriced boxes and items. Many of us choose to ignore this, and the greediness of the corporation grows as a result. As such, Niantic decided to increase price of Remote Raid Pass with no communication whatsoever. This would be a dire change for all of us, especially rural players. In case this change goes through, if you hope for a better future for the game, we must take a stand. How do we rebel? It's simple. 1. Save money. For an entire week after the change, do not use or purchase remote/premium raid passes or boxes. 2. Do as many of the in-person raids as you would normally before the change. Make sure there's no increase. 3. Spread the word to fellow players, but do not pressure them into doing the same. Some of us believe things will improve, and it's their choice whether they want to try. So, I think that this isn't a bad idea. I think that this is something I am going to participate in. I very much agree with the last point of, spread the word to fellow players, but do not pressure them. So if you don't feel this, like if this doesn't resonate with you at all, then, don't participate in it. No pressure, for real. I did just want to share this to the little community here on YouTube just to get it a little bit more exposure, because I do think that it's a good idea. And they make a lot of good points in this infographic as well, Like, I'm very annoyed with this change. And I am a player that lives in a big city. I live in Calgary. Calgary is one of the biggest cities in Canada, When it comes to raids, I should be able to figure it out most of the time, but it's going to now take a lot more planning and a lot more coordination, I'm gonna have to look and see exactly when the egg is going to hatch and make sure that I'm there exactly when the egg hatches, because if I'm not, I probably won't be able to raid. Whereas before, in the situation before this nerf is happening, it doesn't matter if I get there and there's only 10 minutes to the raid left, because I got all my homies on my Pokemon Go friend list that is so excited and enthusiastic to join my raids. So I don't have to worry about showing up to a raid when there's only 10 minutes left on the timer, because I can invite all my friends and I know it's not going to be a problem. But unfortunately, this is going to become a problem for me, and I can't even imagine how people are doing in like rural cities. Like my friend Jamie, who I've been best friends with on Pokemon Go for a while, I introduced her to the game. Her and I have done so many remote raids together. She's in Edmonton and I'm in Calgary, and I've helped her take down raid bosses that she wouldn't have been able to do without my help, and vice versa. She's helped me take down raid bosses that I would not have been able to do without her help. And straight up, that kind of thing has always been one of my favorite things in Pokemon Go. Like, ultimately, I have a great memory where Jamie and I remote raided together. I got a shiny Mewtwo, and then on the next remote raid, she got a shiny Mewtwo. And that was so cool. And, it's unfortunate that they're taking this aspect away from the game, Remote raiding is something that grew the game a lot, During the pandemic, remote raiding kind of brought a lot of the trainers and a lot of the Pokemon Go players together. We could all raid and battle again. And, not everyone has a big city that they can travel to easily, that they live in. Some people are living in rural cities where there's like not a Pokemon Go community to play with. What are they going to do? Not to mention people with disabilities, not to mention people that are sick, not to mention people that are in the hospital, Like, you're taking Pokemon Go away from so many players. To not sugarcoat it, it seems like Niantic does not care about having their game be accessible to everybody. They just don't. Because with this change, it's clear that they do not care about accessibility. They care about money, unfortunately. At the end of the day, they are a company. But, this is kind of a kick in the face to a lot of the Pokemon Go players, And Niantic's not dumb, Like, Niantic knows that players love to remote raids, you know? We all see the videos online where it's like, I did 100 raids in 24 hours, you know? And a lot of those videos, those challenges would not be possible if it wasn't for remote raiding. So like, it doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. Like, I think that ultimately it's going to lose them a lot of money, this change, and it seems like weird that they would not want to keep this aspect of the game a part of the game that inevitably gave them so much money. Like, how much profits have they made from remote raiding? How much money have I spent on remote raiding, you know? When it comes to everything in Pokemon Go game, I've probably spent more money on remote raiding than I have on anything else, you know? And that's probably the case for a lot of people that do enjoy raiding, because a lot of the times you can't do raids unless you're with other people. And for a long time, I played by myself. I did not have a community. I did not have friends around me that played Pokemon Go. So remote raiding was the only thing that I could do to get these legendary Pokemon. And I understand that there's many people that are in that boat that I was in, you know, and there's not really an easy way for them to fix it. It's not like Niantic has released Campfire, the app that they have released so Pokemon Go players and people that use Niantic apps that Niantic have released can communicate on. You know, it's not like they've actually released that app to worldwide. It's still unfortunately in beta testing, you know? So it's not like you can go on Niantic Campfire, download the app, and find your community there. You can't, because you know, you can if you're invited to it, but otherwise you can't. If you haven't been invited to Campfire, then that is not an option for you. Please let me know your thoughts on these upcoming changes. I am not sure. Maybe the community will make enough of a stir that Niantic will consider possibly not going through with these changes. We'll see, but it seems from their language in the post and what they've posted online so far that they are fairly set on going through with this change. We'll see if the community makes enough of an uproar. We'll see what happens. Ultimately, it's something that I am bummed about. I'm gonna miss those big remote raid parties. It was one of my favorite aspects of the game. If this change goes through, I certainly will not be spending that amount of coins on remote raid passes. It's not like I'm going to stop remote raiding completely, because we will be getting some in the research breakthrough boxes, which is a bit of a nice thing that they're doing. I guess it's like, here's a nice thing amongst all the garbage, I guess.
Oh, hi, thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
But it is nice that they're doing that. But, you know, I'm not going to stop remote raiding completely, but I'm definitely going to not remote raid as much. I'm not going to buy the passes anymore. If that change comes into effect, I'll just use the free ones. Unfortunately, a lot of my friends that I raided with, I'm just not going to be able to raid with them as much anymore. And unfortunately, that's going to be the reality for a lot of players as well. And I did also want to say my friend Jamie, she's made the decision to take a break from the game, to stop playing now for a bit, because she kind of was wanting to anyways for other reasons, and then this kind of just settled it in stone. And I am seeing that from a lot of other players and trainers on Twitter, people that, you know, are level 50, that are dedicated players, that play every day. And, you know, to be clear, my friend Jamie, she plays every day. She's a very dedicated player. But with all these changes, you know, it's not motivating, it's not incentivizing for us, it's demotivating, actually. It actually discourages players, really, more than anything. And it's kind of lame that that's how Niantic decides to respond to us, you know, the community that makes their game what it is, ultimately. I would really like to know your thoughts on this in the comments. If there's something that you think I've missed, if there's something that you agree with, or something that you disagree with, just let me know in the comments what you think. I always like to know what you guys think about things in Pokemon Go, and I always like to consider perspectives from kind of all areas when I think about anything, really. Sorry for like the heavy tone and mood of this video, but you know, it's kind of a big thing. It's kind of a big change that happened. So, you know, sometimes it's going to be a bit heavier, but I do really appreciate you being here. I appreciate you watching it. If you liked the video, please leave a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. With all that said, thanks for your patience with me and all the love on this channel. I'm working on some more stuff for you guys, I promise. Thank you guys, I really appreciate you. With all the madness going on in life and in Pokemon, you know what I'm gonna say. Make sure you take care of yourself and take care of each other, alright? Pikachu was sad for the video, but he's not gonna be sad anymore. I can't handle that. That's better. Hopefully Niantic won't do it. Hopefully Niantic won't do it. Niantic, don't do it. Niantic, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Please, don't do it. Don't ruin your game. That's what I think. Simple and plain. All right, that's enough of that. And we have a happy Pikachu now, okay? He's happy, all right? So, try and do something that'll make you happy if you can. Bye.